Okay, so we're here with Jerod Mayo. We have so much to talk about, but we're right into this. He goes, wait, you guys don't usually let Elias on the podcast?
No.
Explain that.
No. He's only been on once before, I think.
Just talk right in front. Yeah,
all right. Once before, I think. Yeah.
Oh.
No, I've done two.
Okay, one time.
Energy,
do you know
though. The energy will, radiate through the car.
So they're like,
it might be too much.
They're
for
good.
people
They're
sometimes.
yin and yang as founders because like you have the extrovert and the introvert. It's perfect. But you know Jocko. You know who Jocko is?
I know Jocko.
Do you know the story?
What story? Oh, I do know the Jocko
You do?
story. He told me the Jocko story.
yeah,
He did.
So that was the only time Elias has come on the pod. DC sent him. Elias had no idea who Jocko was. DC sends him on a plane to Austin. He's up at 4 a.m. doing burpees with Jocko.
Jocko has great energy, man.
Oh, yeah.
Great
The
energy.
day, the day he came back from that, we had him on Seeking Wisdom to explain like what he learned at Jocko. But ever
Discipline
since
equals
then,
freedom.
There you go.
There you go.
every
Yeah.
day 4:44. Not anymore though.
Not
You're on
anymore.
a new.
I gotta get back, but it doesn't matter how many times you fail, as long as you get back on it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Please hold
You
them
get back
accountable.
on? You getting back on?
I'm getting back on it.
Yeah.
So you're not back on now.
I'm not back on it right now. I'm doing it.
Don't
I'm
embarrass
running
yourself.
every day right
It
now.
was never discipline, though. Like, from my perspective, it's more motivation. You were motivated when you left, and motivation is
Oh no,
very
it changed my
fleeting.
life. Totally has changed my life. I wake up right now every day. I'm doing Sean Kenny said, Elias, I'm doing running a mile every day. Okay. I was after the marathon. I'm in the rain with my son running. It was amazing because I have to do it every day. I can't fail.
If you get off the wagon, it's hard to get back.
Well,
on.
are you
So-
on the wagon right now? What are you doing?
I'm on the wagon, so my diet's easy. It's not even a diet; it's a lifestyle, right? So it's meat, vegetables, nuts, sometimes fruit, never sugar. I don't drink beer; I only drink straight liquor, tequila and vodka, preferably.
It's straight. Woo! Let's get it. Get the tequila out.
Yeah,
You could have one, Elias. Elias has a world famous margarita. How have you been doing that diet since? Because my guess is you probably went, even in college, you ate good, but probably not as good as you eat now.
Yeah, I ate well. The training table, I picked up 30 pounds my freshman year, right? So I didn't eat growing up.
Wait, how much did
I
you, how
didn't
much
have-
did you weigh?
didn't
I didn't have money.
No food.
How much did you weigh going into college?
I was 205.
You ate 235 after
Yeah, I was
first year.
235, and then I was 255. Now I'm back to 230, something like that.
Wow, that's crazy. Where'd you grow up?
Virginia.
Virginia? Rural Virginia? Or
No. So like the 7 cities, like Hampton, Newport News, Virginia
Got it.
Beach, that area.
Yeah, yeah. And where do you live now? Here?
So now I'm out here in Boston, loving
Oh,
it. I
yeah?
met my wife here, so I'm here for good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is she from New
Until
England?
Drift hires me and you guys move out west.
See?
Come
Oh, you have
on,
to go.
let's go,
You
Jerod.
won't be here though.
You
want
want?
it
Would you
has
like
No,
to
no,
be
I'll stay
VP
here.
of engineering?
VP of Engineering, sign me up.
Yeah, let's
Where's
go.
my
Hired,
Python
done.
book? I need a Python book. ASAP.
Java.
Java. We'll
Java.
get it.
Oh, well,
Whatever.
Java.
Whatever.
C+, Java.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
hold
amazing.
on. So we've
So
gone.
is your wife from New England?
Yeah, she's from New England.
You're
She's
done.
from Boston.
Wait,
It's
I've
official.
been
It's
here
official.
forever.
Jerod is now VP of engineering at
why?
Drift.
Why is Jerod Mayo on Seeking Wisdom?
Oh, yeah. How did this happen?
Like,
We forgot to
So
introduce it.
you do have a knack for like, yo, I'm texting with Jerod or texting with so-and-so. I'm like,
No,
what?
let me tell you
But
the
you
rest.
do have it.
Let me
You
tell you a little bit of
Okay,
that story.
okay,
Hold
okay.
on. No.
That's his
First
gift.
of all, I don't know anybody famous. Like I know Jocko
I'm
and
not
I know
famous.
Jerod.
I'm just a
you know.
normal guy.
Yeah, you
Just
are.
a normal
He's
guy.
a
I could
normal
tell. I
guy,
could
but
tell.
he's famous too.
Yeah.
So
Jerod, you played football for the Patriots in
did.
New
I
England.
did.
You can't be
By the
like,
way,
I'm
I
not
did.
That's
famous.
true.
for those of you that don't know, like he played for
I
the
had to
Patriots.
admit to Jerod in the kitchen that I didn't know.
You
where
still
we
thought
play
football
for.
was soccer, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, come on. Right?
I found them on Wikipedia.
You know, David is the famous guy here, right?
Yeah.
But the other day I get a text,
Yeah.
and it says, "Hey, you want to go out to dinner with Jerod Mayo?" I'm like, "Of course I'm in." And it's like
Who sent you
cancel
that
all my
text?
plans, and then it's like
Can you-
TJ sends me
Okay.
that text, friend of David's, friend of ours,
Yeah.
and friend of Jerod too, right? And I'm like, I come to David, I'm going to dinner with Jerod. And he goes, who's that? And by the way, I got asked first, but I'm busy. I get the hand-me-downs from BC.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll take it.
And
Yeah.
then you had your son, right? But someone here.
Becky
babysat.
took my son, took
yeah.
Lucas,
He's
because
like,
I had
get out of
Lucas
here.
here at
Get
the
out of here.
office.
See you
He
later.
was here
Lucas was at the office
Today?
that
Just
day.
now?
That
Dropped
day.
this son for me,
Oh.
man.
Yeah.
That's how we'll be friends forever.
And
We'll
so
be
That's
forever.
and so he went to watch the
That's a
movie
bond.
Wrinkle in Time with Becky.
Perfect.
He's now
Becky
reading
has
the
a raise.
book.
She's now VP of
She did.
engineering.
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody,
temporary,
you keep
temporary.
passing it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, passing it on.
Sierra.
Sierra.
Becky Sierra.
All right.
So, that's how it went. So I just show up. I show up to dinner. I'm sitting next to him, and he's like, "Wow, this is a really cool, normal guy." And we just
You're
start.
You're super
just
cool. Super
talking
cool.
about business.
Any guy
Super
with
cool.
beads on his wrist like that, I'm his friend.
Thank you. Thank
He
you,
comes in
Jerod.
peace.
Call
This
him
is-
out, call
there
him
is-
It's
out.
gonna be like Jules. You know?
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He calls him Jules. That's your boy.
It's Jules.
Dude,
Oh.
show him the picture.
Oh, I
Show
seen
him
the
the-
picture.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he can't show half of the actual
Don't
pictures.
show him the picture. He
Whoa,
has
whoa,
different
who's in that?
He was there.
With Jules. Yeah, he was there. He was there. I was telling him about our
Who's
Super
Jules?
Bowl trip.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
So
That's
Julian
great.
was actually my neighbor And Julian used to play defense. So before he was this offensive guy, he played defense, played corner.
Oh, really?
Every play. What do I do on this play, Jerod? I'm like, hey, man, you got this guy right here. Every single play.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we gotta
He
move
was
the
your neighbor
offense.
here
Yeah,
when he
out here.
first came here?
You told me what
Him and
he went
him-
to your house to eat. What was the whole?
Yeah, so he's my neighbor. He was one of those guys where we left our door unlocked. So he
Yeah.
would just walk in, kind of like Al Bundy. when
Al
guys
Bundy.
the guys just walk in the house.
Yeah.
He was that guy.
Yeah.
So can we come in to eat dinner?
Anytime.
Okay.
Anytime.
You're
You guys
in
are more
now.
than
My
welcome.
house is like that. My house is unlocked too, so you can come in.
Hey, I just
anytime.
saw you guys did a new round, so I should be coming to your house.
That's it.
That's that top shelf. Let me get that top shelf up there, man.
That's funny. I grew up in Queens, and my mom used to love one show which played all the time. I don't know if you saw it. Martin.
What do you mean you don't know if I saw
All right, I did.
Wait, how are you going to ask me you don't know if I saw
Because
Martin?
you made me think
Gene
about
Man.
it. Because Brother
Gene
Man.
up- Brother Man.
So
Open the
Drew-
window.
We're
Brother
done.
Man
It's
from the
over.
Brother Man.
He was Brother Man.
You just
Brother
walk in,
Man.
you're like,
making a
"Josie,
ham sandwich.
Sandwich. What are you doing?
A sandwich.
Just having a ham sandwich.
You don't know about
Gene,
this.
of
show.
course.
You don't know
Yeah,
about
I-
Martin.
Yes,
you don't know about
I didn't
Martin.
grow
Yeah,
up
watch
watching
Martin.
Martin.
He only
but
likes Eminem.
that is not true. He's
My mom used to watch it all the time, and Brother Man would
One
come
Martin episode.
Your mom watched
nothing. I got
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah.
I watched that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. She loved that. But Brother Man would come in. I guess that's Julian. Make himself a ham
Ham
sandwich.
sandwich. No, not
Ham
sandwich. Sandwich.
And then go out the window and leave.
Go out
Yeah.
the window.
That's amazing.
So Edelman, that's the story.
Yeah, he was
that's
a
gonna
bum,
be you
man.
now.
Edelman
That's
was a
gonna
bum. Title of this episode, Edelman was a bum.
It might be the most popular episode.
Yeah.
He was
What-
comparing
what
jewels
do you
with him.
think this Edelman is on the show and it's Jerod.
Yeah.
What do you actually want to talk to Jerod about? I have some ideas, but
Well,
You run it. We can do whatever you
I
yeah,
think-
no, we have some.
I think
I have
there's
some.
two things, right?
We have lots.
The topic really is about your discipline as a leader while you were playing, right? Professional sports, and how you've been transitioning that. It really you impressed me when you were telling me what you set yourself out to do after the game, and what you're doing now. So it's like, I want to talk about that.
I'll give at least David a little
Yeah,
background.
yeah.
So-
Yeah, tell
I
him.
don't know.
Tell him.
So
By the way, our investors, he has season tickets, right? So
Yeah.
we get about one invite a year
okay.
to go.
Yeah.
And so we go, we sit down, we're like in the Putnam seats. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And David, the whole time, he's talking to Izar like this. And I'm like, David, the game is over there. The game is over there. And David's like,
Well, you gotta come with me when I'll take you on the field.
Please.
Middle of the game, we go down on the field.
You gotta
I'm
get the
ser- I'm
turf. You gotta get the
serious.
turf in the
I'm
toes.
serious.
I'm not taking David. He wouldn't appreciate
No,
that.
no,
I mean,
no.
he wouldn't
Don't take me.
appreciate
Don't take
He-
me.
he doesn't-
There's
that's
a lot
too
of
much.
traffic. A lot of traffic over there. Yeah.
too
But in
much
all-
sensory, feelings there.
Yeah.
So in all seriousness, so I was drafted in 2008. I was a first round draft pick. 2007, they had just went 18-1. They lost the Super Bowl, which
Yeah.
it sucks, but it is what it is. And I was a top 10 draft pick. So I left as a junior. It was great. I come into an organization where you have Teddy Bruschi, Tom Brady, Randy Moss, all these old guys. And when I say old in football, that's like 30.
30,
right?
yeah.
It's like
That's
that's
DTH,
old. Yeah, I
exactly.
retired at 29.
Yeah.
Right. So I come in, all these guys, superstars. First game as a rookie, Tom Brady tears his ACL. So from my perspective,
crazy.
it's like,
I
I'm
forgot.
thinking I'm going back to the Super Bowl, top 10 pick. We're going back to the Super Bowl, right? Tears his ACL. We still win 11 games with Matt Castle. No shots to Matt Castle, but he ain't no Tom Brady,
Brady,
right?
yeah.
So we end up having that season. I was rookie of the year. I was rookie of the year that year. The next year during preseason, during preseason the coaches picked the captains, right? So Bill and those guys picked me as the captain. I was
Bill. Who's Bill?
Belichick, sorry.
Wow.
I was the
And you're what, 20, 22,
I
21?
was like 23 at the time, or 22, 23.
Bill comes and says,
So
your
in the
team
preseason.
captain.
So it's cool at first, right?
Wait.
Until you realize you're going out to the coin toss and you're the only one out there. So usually it's
That's-
like, hey, if we win the toss, we want to kick the ball. If we lose the toss, we want to defend this goal, right? So now usually when I go out there, I'm like, hey, Tom, what did Bill say again?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, because I have a little bit of a,
Yeah.
obsessive.
You had no
compulsive
Tom.
disorder. I would just go check the locks all the time on
Yeah.
the door. But now it's like no one I can talk to say, hey, what did Bill say he wanted to do if we didn't, if we won the toss?
You're like,
Defer.
Bill, give me a hand
Right.
signal. Bill,
Right.
hand signal.
And that's his thing. You screw up the coin toss.
Well, you can't screw up a coin toss. It's like I'm choosing heads or tails. That's
Yeah,
it.
but-
how can you screw up the head? But if you screw up the
caller.
receive
Yeah.
or
That's what I mean.
defend-
Like there's
oh,
a
yeah.
day the wind is the right direction.
Probably
Gerard
won't be
just
a
out
captain
there.
during the
Yeah.
preseason. But during the season, the players pick the captains, right? And that's what really, I'm always about the people, right? Always about the guys. So it's one thing to be selected as a captain from your coaches. It's a totally different ball game when your peers select you as a captain. So I was a captain 7 out of 8 years for the defense, and it was a great time.
Do you remember what he said? What was that conversation like? You're 23 going into Bill's office. Do you have any idea what he was gonna talk to you about?
Nope. First of all, going into Bill's office is like nerve wracking, right? You go in Bill's office, he's like one of those two finger.
That's how I feel when he calls me. When he calls me, no,
there's no way.
no, but he never calls. He never calls. So when the phone rings, I'm like, oh fuck.
Right.
Like what?
Yeah, for sure.
It's
So
like, Jerod, we need to talk. Come to the office.
seriously, but you know, when I look back on my career, I kind of this is how I became captain, at least from my point of view. So we used to do 2-a-days. You're not familiar with 2-a-days, I'm sure. There's 2 practices in one day.
No.
He'll like the idea of it though.
I like
Imagine you had
this
to come to work twice.
Oh, for sure. Come to work twice, and it's kind of brutal. It's kind of brutal.
Okay.
So every once in a while, I was a rookie. Every once in a while, guys were like, "Man, we can't have full pads today." But no one liked talking to Bill. Yeah. Like I can tell, like your employees like you. Yeah, they like the both of you guys, right? For the most part.
Look this way. Just not.
Yeah, just go like this. Yeah.
No. For the most part.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
But you seem approachable.
Yes.
People can go up. Like Bill's not like that. Like people are like no seriously. Like no matter who you are, it's like you go talk to Bill. It's kind of like, you know, it's gonna be a tough conversation, right? So as a rookie, the guys used to say, you know what? Jerod, you're like, rookie, get it. They ain't call me
Yeah,
Jerod
rookie.
at the time.
Yeah.
Rookie, get in there and
Yeah.
ask Bill
Yeah.
if we can get out of pads.
Yeah.
And my whole mindset was like, first of all, Bill can't whoop my ass, right? So
Yeah.
if Bill wanted to, if me and Bill got in the fight, I'm going to beat Bill's ass.
That's
I knew
it.
that in my head, right?
You had that.
Yeah,
You
I had that.
Yeah.
Secondly, I'm like, if the worst thing he can say to me is no, doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah.
So I would go into Bill's office, and he would be in there doing the 2-finger typing thing, right, like this, with a pencil in his ear, and he's like,
That
yeah.
is how you picture him.
That
typing.
is, yeah, behind the screen.
Yeah.
It's behind, like,
On a
coach.
Microsoft Surface.
How many?
No,
how many?
no surface, no
how many?
surface,
How many
yeah.
words per
He
minute?
had a
How many words per
46,
minute?
right? He's like,
He had a 46.
20 words a minute for Bill.
No.
on that 486, man, floppy drive.
14.
He's not doing anything. Floppy drive 486. But
Yeah.
listen, so I would walk in there and I'm like, Bill, guys are tired. Like we can't be in full pads today. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, Bill would be like, get out of my office. Like, what are you doing? You're a
Yeah.
rookie. Like, get out of here. Right? But 1 time out of 10, Bill would say, you know what, Jerod, you're right. We're out of pads today. And when I would go back to the locker room, though, I was like a hero. I was like guys would legit pick me up.
Jerod
Yeah,
did it.
they're like, Jerod did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the
Jerod's
next thing you
captain.
know,
He's
when
captain.
the guys knew, like, it wasn't really about me, it was about, like, the rest, like, the
Yeah.
greater good.
Yeah.
That's when guys start to follow you, right? I didn't care. Like, I was out of pads, too. I didn't. But at the end of the day, I didn't care. I was rookie of the year. I didn't get a trophy. I don't care about a trophy or even my Super Bowl ring. Like, I'll give that to my son, right?
Yeah.
I don't care about that stuff. I try to run away from the past like the plague. So
move
now
towards
it's
the
like,
future. Yeah.
oh, for sure. And that's one thing Bill really taught me there, right? He's
Really?
always like, change the page. And when I say Bill Belichick,
Yeah. Yeah.
you have to change the page, right? So no matter if it's a win or a loss or whatever, hey, we'll look at it. What happened? What went well? What went poorly? But at the end of the day, we're on. What do you say? On to Cincinnati, the next game. Remember, on to Cincy.
And that's how he really was.
That's how he really is. Yeah, that's how he really is. And you know, I appreciate that. And so if you approach every day like that, I mean, think about what you could do. There's so many times you walk into people in the streets and they're like, I remember when I used to play back, and I'm just like,
forget it.
it's like,
That's
you know what?
okay.
This conversation's not going anywhere.
No.
We actually, one of the interesting people we had on this podcast, she ran people and talent at Netflix for 15 years. Patty McCord, she's a beast. And one of the things she said that screwed up Netflix as the company grew was that there was this like crop of people that would always like reminisce for the early days. Oh, we used to be able to do this and we used to be able to do that. And so she said like that's the worst thing you can do is be nostalgic for the past. And so they always have that mindset. Like we even have it here. We had
Netflix hit an all-time high yesterday on stocks, though.
Oh, really?
No, but we had March was like the biggest month that we've had, and it was a big celebration, huge milestone. But then the second that clock turned April, everybody's like, we're on to April.
Oh, for sure.
That's
What is it? We go from hero to zero
hero to zero.
on the
Quick.
first day of the month.
Yeah.
Quick.
Let's go.
You know, you're in sales, no?
A
You
little
were-
bit. So
you
I
did-
work in
you started,
strategy
right?
for the most part, but I help the sales guys out a lot, right? So they love when I come in on a deal because I can help them come top down on a lot of deals. I can kind of open the doors because,
Yeah.
you know, the C-suite,
Yeah.
they like sports for the most part.
Okay,
Not you.
okay,
You're
okay.
the only
Yeah.
C-suite guy. You might be the only C-suite guy I
gotta
know that
dig,
doesn't like
baby.
You gotta know.
Like, there has to be a sport.
I like basketball.
What?
Basketball. I don't really follow, but I like that. I grew up liking the Knicks and then Celtics, whatever. I like
The
my
Knicks
daughter.
and the Celtics?
Hey,
Yeah, but
Nah,
I moved
stop
up here.
it,
Yeah,
stop
yeah,
it,
yeah.
This
stop
is
I'm
better.
a Knick.
Keep
He's
him
a
out of
Knick.
sports.
When
Next
we've
season
gone
fan.
to watch the Celtics,
I like tennis.
This is what he does with the investor too. Hey, what's up? They're talking the whole time.
yeah.
I'm like, the game is over here.
Yeah, for
DC."
sure.
My daughter
I've
likes
been there.
football.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No. But Same thing with me. So I go to games now and I network like crazy.
Yeah.
So I watch the game a little bit. I do a TV show on Mondays, but I watch on Tuesdays. But I watch the game a little bit, but I network. At those events, those are great networking opportunities.
Did you know?
What's your TV show? Sorry, for
Quick
the
Slants
one
on,
person that doesn't
NBC
know.
Sports. So it's on
Okay.
NBC Sports.
Okay. There's some of us that
Oh,
don't know.
I didn't know that. I don't watch TV.
And what was your
They
new
dabble.
role that you transitioned to?
Yeah,
you
so when I retired,
at what age?
I'll tell you, I was 29, so I'll tell you the whole story. So I went back home, right? I had a few injuries, right? So I tore both pecs. I tore a patella tendon.
Yeah.
All things you can put back together, right? You can put it back together. I probably could have, stole 3 or 4 more years, but I didn't. If I'm not going to play 95%, I don't want to play, right? If I'm going to be out there just just be out there, I'm not doing it, right? So I was like the samurai way, man. I fell on my sword, right? I fell on my sword. So I remembered, so I took an interview with United Health Group.
Yep.
Right. The CEO came out, interviewed me, gave me the job. I drove that. Well, no, let me rewind. So I was out in Virginia with my mom, and we're sitting there having the tequila, and I'm like, Mom, I'm done. I can't do it. And that's where it all started, right? So when I was drafted, I was home. Every pick that I didn't go to New York for the draft. Every pick that went by, we did a shot at Patron. That's why I don't drink Patron today, right? Good thing I went 10, or I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
About Don Julio.
Wait,
I like Don Julio.
Yeah.
can you rewind and tell that story? Why didn't you go to the draft? Like,
It's
'cause
all about
you're-
family for me.
You're a
right?
top 10. You're a top pick.
Yeah.
So all the top picks go to the draft.
Okay.
You're in the suit. You're doing a photo shoot. You see it on the show, right? It's like the first. If you're going to be in the first round, they know, or you have an agent. They let you know, hey, Jerod, we think you're going to go here.
They're trying to give you like a projection where they think, but no one really knows.
But you were at home.
But I'm about family and friends. Like I'm about my circle, and I try to keep my circle pretty tight. But it's you want to spend that time with family. That's how I've always been. But that's how it started, right? So we get the call from Bill. You're going 10 to New England. I'm like, where is New England? Like, I knew the New England states. I knew the New England states.
Like, where in New England?
But I'm like, where in New England? Yeah, because
That's what I
I
thought.
didn't know.
Did
what
he
the
have
New England-
any excitement?
None. Bill's like this, man. But I appreciate that. Like, I appreciate that in a leader, like a guy who's like that.
Even when stuff is going wrong,
Even
stuff's
when-
going right, everything's the same.
By the way,
For the most part.
For the most
Unless
part.
it's Jets week.
David is very similar to Belichick.
Yeah.
He's like not a lot of excitement. He's just and people have a hard time approaching him.
Yeah, but at the same time, you need guys. The thing about Bill, at least for me, his expectations from me were higher than my own expectations, and that's what really stretched me to become not only a better football player, that's one thing, but a better leader, right? A better husband, a better man. So
Tell these people, please.
No,
seriously.
I will say
this is the truth.
David has made me want to be a better man.
I have higher expectations than you.
He is. No, he is though.
Yeah.
He's relentless, right? He's like results driven, and he's always like, oh, I come like, I did this well, hoping for like a pat on the back, and he's like, well, next time can we do this?
Oh, you sound like Bill.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
Like
We had a
No, we
player.
talk
had a
about this a
player
lot.
come here. We had a player come. So we every once in a while we would go out in free agency and get a big name player. He's probably a future Hall of Famer, right? I'll let you guys try
Guess.
to guess who it is, but not really. So he'll probably be a future Hall of Famer. He comes here. It's training camp. And he breaks up a pass, right? He's playing defense. He breaks up a pass. And Bill doesn't say anything to him. He just walks away. Or whatever. So he pulls me to the side after practice. And he's like, this guy. And he's like, Jerod, how come Bill never tells me, like, good job? Like, I'm like, listen, you're doing what you're supposed to do. Like, for you to get an attaboy, we call them attaboys, or a pat on the back, like, you have to go above and beyond.
Malcolm Butler.
For sure. That's when you get that. But it makes the pats on the back even more.
And does he give you a real pat, or does he just give
No,
you?
it's a real.
He'll give you one of these.
No, it's a real pat. No, it's a real pat. But you know when he gives you one of those. Like,
Yeah.
good
Is
job.
that how do you set that? How do they set that culture though? Like, did you know coming in? Oh, this guy's not gonna work out because he wants this. Like,
for
how do you
sure.
get 52? How do you get everybody bought in? 53 people bought in.
Let's kind of like, how do you define culture first of all? I
Yeah.
guess that's even a better question.
We talk about this all the time.
Yeah. I don't know. We have different.
Yeah,
I think it's like the. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
but
go.
My version is like, culture is just the collection of the people on the team, inside the company, what have you, right? All of us, and it's always changing because of that, because you bring different people, and then it's the things that you celebrate and the things that you hold people accountable to. And most people not have values that they will not hold the team accountable for, and that becomes your culture. Even if you say it's something else, that's the culture, whatever you tolerate bad behavior. So that's my version.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, like, your culture, like, I see all these sales guys here, right? if all of a sudden a new employee comes in and he sees, we'll just say Sally, she's selling like crazy, but she's doing something, not the right way, right? But she gets promoted.
Yep.
That's what exactly that becomes your culture. So when you start to look at it that way, it's like, so you bring guys in and you hear people say it all the time, like, culture fit. The culture is a culture fit. But like from our perspective, it's like culture add. Like you need to be a culture add.
Yeah, we talk about it. It's like you are what you tolerate.
Right.
But you can't always just have the founders be the ones that are policing it.
For sure.
It has to come on its own. All of a sudden it's you saying like, hey, pick that thing up, or like take care of that yourself.
Something that we're working on right now is called identity transition, right? Because at the beginning, when it's just like 10, 15 of us, it's like the founders, right? But in reality is what Drift is going to turn into. What everybody in the team can understand and follow, and like be able to encourage, to motivate, to exhort, to tell others like, we're doing this right, we're doing this wrong, right?
No, but some people look at culture as just this like retroactive way of validating success, if that makes sense, right? It's like, oh, it must have been the culture when it was, but culture's a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a real thing. And the
100%.
culture in New England, we win a lot of games, and now you're starting to see a bunch of these articles come out, right? It's like, is Tom not happy? Is Gronk? It's like you see all these articles. Like those are things that, for the most part, have always happened behind closed doors. Like all of those discussions have happened behind closed doors. And within any family, you will have some type, fights for sure, right? People change and all that stuff. From my perspective, now you're starting to see it come out. This will probably go down if the team blows up or whatever. I hope they don't. But if the team blows, this will be like a business case study, right? Because everything that's happening with New England right now, you'll see it with companies, corporations.
For sure. And how do you think about the future for you? Like, what are you thinking? What are you interested in doing? How do you grow?
Yeah, so I'm day to day. So I'm day to day as far as I try to stay as present as possible, right?
Yeah,
you hear people say it all the time. Like I meditate every morning. Like you get up and you work out. Like I work out and I meditate every single day.
I don't exactly work out in the morning.
He goes on a 1 mile
I'm
jog.
trying to work on my discipline, but workout is not.
I think you guys have different definitions for workout.
Yeah, okay,
absolutely.
okay.
How many burpees you do in the morning?
I don't do burpees, man. I don't do burpees.
See, we have to wear loose-fitting sweatshirts and vests.
Vests.
Okay.
When you wear vests all the time, we have different definition of working out.
Okay.
He's become more self-conscious, but he's good.
I'm learning. I'm
He's
learning.
good.
No. Sorry. The question was.
What's your how do you
How
look
do you
into
wanna
the
grow?
future?
Yeah.
Like,
So I'm always looking to do something new, right? I'm always trying to, I listen to podcasts, listen to audiobooks all the time, but I start my day off in an uncomfortable state every single day. And my wife, I tell kids this all the time. So I take a cold shower.
Oh, you one of
day.
those? You do the
I'm
cold
one
shower?
of those guys.
Yeah.
I am one of those guys because I feel like if I can take this cold shower and not only take this cold shower, but relax in the cold, there's nothing throughout the day that's going to make me that uncomfortable.
So no screaming
Even
in the
seeing
cold shower?
Bill Belichick sitting there staring at you like, Change your eyes. Like I'm still more uncomfortable in a cold shower.
Yeah.
So, but that's the only way to grow, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm a huge believer in like your circle, like surrounding yourself with the right people, right? Proximity to to things you want to do. You can't be the world's greatest bass fisherman living in Montana or something, something like that, or Vegas, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's how we kind of connected. Right, so I wanted to be around guys like you. So I appreciate.
Did you how early on in your career? Because like the crazy part is like you were, how old are you now? 32 ish.
32. Yeah.
32. So like in any other career, you're young as hell. Like,
young
right?
buck.
Right.
But you have this football life, which is like between 20 and 30. Did you start to think like 25, 26, 27? Did you start to think about what?
I was thinking at 22.
You were?
Yeah, I remember.
Just pain?
Because the thing about it, when I first was drafted in 2008, I still remember Teddy Bruschi saying to me, he said, "You're closer to the end now than you are to the beginning."
That's crazy.
My first day on the job. So I'm like, he's sitting there. We're eating lunch. He's like, "What do you want to do? Like, what do you think you're going to do your rookie year?" And I was like, I just had 140 tackles. I had, I had a great season junior year in college, right? So I'm like, I'm playing 16 games. I can get 100 tackles in 16 games, right? So Teddy says, I remember the last guy who said something like that. His name was Andy Katzenmoyer. And if you guys know Andy Katzenmoyer, like Katz came in here and he was like supposed to be the next big thing.
Yep.
And I don't think
He
probably
was a
had 30,
high draft pick. He barely played.
Yeah,
the
he
first
probably
year.
had 30 tackles his entire
Wow.
career. Yeah, so it kind of, I don't know.
But those guys
And now
played.
Teddy's a good friend.
Those
that when
guys
they
played a
called you
big
rookie?
role on
Rookie.
those guys.
They wanted to
influenced
cut
you.
my hair at the time. I was like,
Really?
I'm not cutting my hair.
You have somebody like Teddy Bruschi and Rodney Harrison saying like, "Yo, you need to be thinking
Well,
beyond."
Rodney wasn't saying
No?
that. So, nah, he wasn't that type
What
of
was he
guy.
saying?
No, Rodney's a good guy.
Just different?
But Rodney used to treat rookies like rookies. And it was like, and so I could never get down. I could never like, it was tough for me. You know, it's one thing. I'm all about paying your dues,
Yeah.
right? Totally. Like I'll pay the rookie
Yeah.
tab, whatever it is. But some people just treat,
Sport.
It's
Yeah.
like, come on, man. It's not a fraternity, man. They try to make
Let's
it sound
haze
like,
'em.
we're a family. We're a family. It's like, no, we're really not a family.
No, it's
And that's where people get
Yeah.
in business and people get it confused in sport, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're like, totally, I'm going to give you everything I have out here across the field. But if you mess up too many times, like, I got to let you go.
You got to cut.
Like,
and that can happen in family.
Another thing, Bill, I love when Bill used to do this. So he would call the captains in, and we would have to write down 5 players we couldn't play without and 5 players that we could play that we had to have.
Wow.
Right?
Damn.
Savage move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was only the captains, and we
Yeah.
would do it. And it was like, I mean, you talk about like real insights into
Yeah.
a group of
That's-
people. It's
Isn't that in the principles? Like we openly talk about that. It's like this is not a family.
Yeah.
Because the family mindset changes.
family is unconditional love. Though.
Unconditional
If my
love.
son messes up
You gotta
20
be there.
times, I still love him.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah.
you keep messing up. Like, all right, buddy, I still love you, but it's not
You gotta go.
unconditional.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
This is called conditional.
But
love.
that's
Exactly.
important. Like you see companies talk about like, oh, we're a family. That changes the whole. That
It
changes the whole culture.
whole
Well,
culture.
it's fake. Everyone knows
is.
it's fake. No, it's a team. That's amazing. So you call them in 5. What's interesting about that, when you rate the top and the bottom 5, then for those captains and everyone, it gives you a perspective that you maybe not even thinking about,
Oh,
right?
for
You're
sure.
tolerating something with those bottom 5
Yeah.
that you hadn't thought about.
For sure.
It forces you to deal with it.
Because we're all in our little separate groups
Yep.
as well, right? So just like here, you have sales here, you have marketing over there, but at the end of the day, you're all on the same team. But
Yep.
you special teams, defense and offense are totally different groups. Like linebackers, defensive backs, defensive line, totally different groups, totally different personalities. And as for you guys as leaders, it's your responsibility
Yeah.
to kind of have a pulse of everyone without micromanaging. Now that is that's a tough dilemma.
How did your wife feel when you retired?
She felt good. She felt good.
She was okay.
She was okay. Yeah, we were good. Like, I don't want to say it like this, but I was top 10 big. I redid my deal. I was good.
You were okay.
Financially, we were okay.
You okay. You okay.
We were okay
You okay.
financially.
You're gonna make it.
I
You're gonna
work.
make it.
I work because I like to work.
Yeah.
I like to be around people. We were okay. And she was totally fine with it. She knew what I wanted to do. Like,
Yeah.
I retired for a week and then I did an interview. Seriously, it's like I was retired for a week
and you're like,
then I
okay,
was
I
like,
gotta go.
I gotta work. I can't stay in the house. Yeah, because if you don't grow, if you don't continue to grow, you're just gonna
dying.
die.
Yeah,
You're
you're
gonna
just
die
dying.
inside.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know this isn't the best Jerod Mayo.
Yeah.
You know this isn't the best David. No matter how old you are,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, you know this isn't the best version of you.
Yeah.
But when you stop like pursuing the best version of you, that's when you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You're gonna die.
When
You're
Jerod said-
telling him all the things he loves.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Give it to me. Although when Jerod said old, he looked at me direct. He was like,
You know, when you're
Nah,
old,
nah,
he was
nah.
like,
you're the
he was
better
like- he's
version
like,
of
when
you.
I
you're
said
old, then
older.
you're like,
Older.
He's 48. He's 48.
Yeah, I'm not 48. Okay, he just makes this up every time.
Expose.
Yeah.
What else?
He says I'm 50, 51, 60, 65, whatever. Yeah.
You have a beautiful family,
I appreciate
right?
it.
You have 4 kids.
4 kids.
What?
4.
kids.
They're all out in Cali right now, so I'm here on the East Coast by
Really?
myself. Yeah.
How'd
My
that
wife-
happen?
My wife went to Coachella. And
Okay,
then,
okay.
She goes every year.
Yeah.
And then
Beyonce
kids
was
go?
there.
so no, the kids think Beyonce was there. I just
She's
don't like,
partying with Bey?
I'm like, man,
What?
I don't want to
With the
breathe in
queen?
all the dust, man.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the dust. That's why
But
I
the
hate going
queen
to
is there.
Vegas, man. It's too many cigarettes for me,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I'm like, dang.
You two might not be as good friends as you think.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'm joking, I'm
Go out
joking,
there.
I'm joking.
Here
I
we
mean,
go.
I hate Vegas. The smell of the cigarettes.
Oh,
and
okay.
the-
I just feel like there are vape pens and stuff out now.
Yeah,
like,
there's a
you-
lot.
like I feel
There's a
you know
lot.
now when you see people smoke cigarettes, like, whoa, what are you
Yeah.
doing? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
we spent 4 days in Vegas and like we saw daylight once.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Nice.
so
Oh, yeah,
sad.
For sure.
It's like-
It is sad.
Are the kids at Coachella?
No, so they just went out after
Oh, okay,
Coachella.
after.
So yeah, so they went out on Monday with
Yeah.
our nanny. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm
That's
home
cool.
alone, man. I'm like, I'm scared. I'm scared, man.
Scared?
You hear noises. You hear
noises?
like,
We
what
got
is
your
that?
back. Where do you want to
Thank
go
you,
tonight?
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Elias has got you.
Elias will show up
got
at your
you.
house tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Elias
I'll
cannot be-
free my schedule.
Elias cannot be stopped. It's crazy.
No, he has great energy though, and we sat beside each other at this dinner. And I just knew, he was a good person, good energy.
TJ's got energy. How did you handle those two?
Yeah, TJ was kind of quiet that night.
Really?
Yeah, he
What
was kind of
happened?
quiet.
He's off?
I think Yeah, I don't know. I know he's TJ has
TJ
high
great.
energy too.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely extrovert, just constantly going like hyper.
Yeah,
But even like introvert and extrovert, it's like that whole, you hear, there's different viewpoints on introvert and extrovert. Like, I'm an introvert, right?
Yeah.
When I want to recharge, I go in my room. I'm like, I don't want to be around people to recharge. That's just me. Right?
There's times you have to be extroverted.
Exactly. Yeah. I enjoy people. Like, I don't
Elias is a true extrovert. He has to be around people to recharge.
See, I recharge. I got to go recharge real quick. Now I'm back.
He does not like being alone. See, if his family goes away, he's panicked.
I'm like, everybody team text me,
Everybody.
who wants to go out,
Who
where do
wants
we
to
go?
go out?
Lunch, dinner, this, that. I
Text
cannot
me.
be home.
Text me.
Yeah, no, I'm not with him. He's alone. We send him
So
alone.
he's an introvert. He recharges alone. I recharge with people, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And you have 4 kids, and you're only
7,
32.
6, 3, and newborn. So we had a baby on Christmas morning. I'm
Damn.
32. I figured we knock them out early.
Yeah.
Knock them out early, and then when they get older,
good.
they're not gonna want to deal with me, right?
No.
Yeah.
So
You have a newborn.
newborn. I told my wife.
Back in. He's got a newborn.
Congratulations.
10 months.
Baby,
Yeah.
10 months.
I told my wife. So throughout my career, I started playing football. I was 5 years old. I played baseball, basketball, football, and soccer. Right. So. When I got to high school, my mom, she's from the cloth or belief that put all of our eggs in one basket, right? So she made us quit every sport, and we had to pick one.
Wow.
Right?
Smart.
Yeah.
focus.
Right.
Focus.
So 3 out of 4 got full scholarships, right? 3 out of 4 boys got full scholarships doing this. And
you chose the one.
I chose football.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I chose soccer and became a professional football
You'd
player,
be
I mean,
done.
that would make me a bad.
You'd be done. You'd be done.
That would make me a bad man. But I figured we just knock them out early, and it's been good. It's been good. So I've had 9 surgeries in my life.
Wow.
Like counting scopes and things like that. And I'm like, I'm good at 4 kids.
Yeah.
I am good. So my wife's like, yeah, we'll go get a vasectomy. And I'm like, I've had 9 surgeries in my life. You
Yeah.
think I want to make it to double digits?
Yeah.
I'm like,
10.
you can get 1.
Yeah.
I don't want to get to double digits.
You didn't do it?
No, I didn't do it. I'm trying to figure it out.
I don't get too personal here.
Yeah, don't get too personal. It's all about timing at this point.
Timing. That's incredible.
4 kids as you play.
4 kids.
That's a
I
big
know,
risk.
I
you're
know,
taking.
I know,
Big risk.
I know.
Man, number 5.
Don't say that. That's when you get into van territory. It's like,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
want to
4
drive
is in
van.
van.
You drive a
I don't
van?
drive a van.
You
I don't drive a van.
Oh.
No, he lives nearby. But
He
we
lives-
told him before he had a baby, I just kept telling him one thing. You have nothing but free time right now.
He did.
Oh, for
Now,
sure.
And he was like,
would-
no, you don't understand,
Yeah.
Jerod. I'm busy. I
Yeah.
got this. I'm working all the time. Then afterwards, it's like, shit.
Oh,
I have is
yeah.
free time.
Oh, and wait until they start playing sports.
Can't
Saturdays and
imagine
Sundays.
four.
What are weekends? Someone tell me what weekends are.
His,
because I
his
have
is just
no
sitting.
clue.
He's got one just sitting
See,
in Cheerios.
this is the scope.
Enjoy
Like
it.
now you had no kids, and I was like, just wait till you have one. Now that I have one, it's like, yeah, but just wait till you have 2 and 3 and
Yeah.
weekends and 4.
Boy
So
or-
I
boy or
know
girl?
I can
He's
take
girl.
it on girl.
Oh, girl.
Girl.
Nice.
He's at the stage. It's still baby just sits
Oh yeah,
there,
yeah.
eats a Cheerio.
Put her in the
Eats one
boppy.
Cheerio.
Doesn't
Put her
Yeah,
in the
yeah, roll.
boppy.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
she can't even hold her head up. She just
Yeah.
sit there like
That's
this.
it. That's all she does.
Give her a mum.
You
Give
just
her
hold
the
her.
mums
It's
here. Get her a
amazing.
You
mum.
just described all his Instagram
I'm
videos.
brushing my
Right.
teeth in the morning. I just sit her down in the bathroom. She's
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a great time.
That's a
Enjoy
great
it.
time.
Enjoy
all
it.
right, all
When
right,
she
all right,
starts-
all right.
How
we
many
get
times
it.
do you hear that?
We're
Enjoy
so
it.
ready.
Enjoy
So
this
When she
time.
starts
kids-
running around.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait,
No, it's
Kids are
amazing.
great.
It's
I'm
amazing.
just telling you, they're a lot of work. They're a lot of work.
amazing.
They're expensive.
You have
That's
4.
what I look back on how my mom raised 4 boys, and I'm like, have no clue.
Your
right?
mom raised 4 boys.
Yeah, 4 boys. She remarried when I was probably 12 or 13, but it's like
Still.
4 boys. I have
That's
a
crazy.
great set of grandparents, right? My grandmother and grandfather helped raise us. But it's diapers are expensive, milk,
Strong.
all that stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
Do you have like specific things that you're trying to impart on them? Not to get too deep into like parenting lessons, but like are there things that you're really passionate about that you're like, I no matter what, I want my kids to do this? Or,
Yeah, it's all about discipline and hard work. Like if you want something, you have to be disciplined, and that's why early on I tried to kind of differentiate. Talk about the difference between motivation and discipline. Yeah, because
Elias does not have. I'm his discipline. I'm an external discipline.
No, seriously.
He's motivated.
I've seen guys who are, these tough guys before games, like, let's go,
Yeah.
so motivated. They're so motivated to get on the field. They get smacked in the face one time, and it's like they're done the rest of the
Yeah.
game, right?
Yeah.
But if you can always fall back on discipline,
Yeah.
it's always there. It's like you're not even thinking about it. You're just so disciplined to the point that you're just doing it.
Yeah.
You're just getting up at 4:30 in the morning, going to do something.
Yeah.
Right? You're not like, you don't even need an alarm clock. I get up 3 minutes like before my alarm clock goes off.
Is that when you get up 4:30?
Yeah,
4:30.
Yeah, I'm in the gym by 5.
Okay.
And then I come
At your
home.
house or you go somewhere?
I go somewhere.
Okay.
But I have a Peloton as well.
You do?
Love the Peloton.
You like the Peloton?
Love
I was
the
a bit of a
Peloton
total one
commercial.
today.
Shout out Peloton.
You
Should
know-
be
you
a
know
drift,
the,
should be a drift
treadmill-
customer very
you know
soon.
The treadmill.
Yeah, that's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Peloton
yeah,
is almost a drift customer.
Yeah.
Nice.
They need
OEM 51. Peloton. Send me the free month. Free month.
Free
Is
month.
that what
free
you
month
number
for-
51?
No, yeah, I was 51, so Mayo backwards. OEM.
Okay.
51.
Love that.
That used to be the password. That used to be the password that my mom gave us because at the time growing up, my dad was like Roman, and she was scared that he would come get us.
Yeah.
So you say OEM.
So if she had to send, she worked 2 jobs. If she had to send someone to come pick us up and we didn't know him, they had to have the password,
word,
which
huh?
was OEM.
That's
it was
crazy.
Mayo backwards. If they didn't have the password, it's like I walk off.
That's crazy.
They know the
That's
special
amazing.
code.
So I got to get a Peloton. That's one.
Get a Peloton.
2, you mentioned audiobooks and podcasts. Do you have any favorites you want to tell the people?
So
would you
99% Invisible.
You like that?
Oh, I love that
Okay.
podcast. Hidden Brain
Okay.
on NPR.
Yeah, NPR.
I love Hidden Brain. I listen to Ferris a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Gets a little much to me sometimes.
Sometimes it does.
It's
Yeah.
like, okay, all right.
It just started getting like that though.
Yes.
Like early
Earlier was
on,
good. Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like always
yeah.
good.
Because he had the best guests. He tapped out of the best 50, 100
That's
guests.
true.
And
That's
now
true. Then
it's
they
like,
did the Titans.
Yeah.
Then they did
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Titans. But
yeah.
the Titans podcast, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I tried it. Yeah, it couldn't work.
have you
with
thought
that
about
one.
writing a book? You gonna write a book?
Yeah.
Nah, not really. Not really. You know what? I'm still trying to find my way, honestly. Like I've only been in the business world now for 3 years. This will be 3 years.
Yeah.
And
Should do
and
videos, books, all that.
It's going well. It's
Yeah.
going well.
But
I love the tech sector. So
You like tech?
I started investing in tech in 2010.
Oh, really?
I have a buddy, Andy, who introduced me to Matt Christensen, who's Clay
Oh, yeah.
Christensen's son.
Yeah.
And Matt, he's a great guy, and he kind of like just opened up my eyes to a few things. We've invested in a couple of companies together, and this other friend Andy, we've invested in these companies. I love seeing the future before everyone else.
Yeah.
And if you can help bring the future, to the present, why not? I love that space.
You should be teaching a Clay's class.
Hey
Should
man,
bring
we'll
you
see.
in there,
We'll
man.
see.
Harvard
I
business
think-
professor. Right here.
I think the principles that you have are like it's taking me this far. I'm 20 years in the tech world, and like David has been accumulating a lot of this wisdom, and I after working with him for 10 years now, I actually get it now, and it's like I have to become like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm pushing myself to be disciplined because I'm just raw energy
Yeah.
and just get the job done that way. But I'm learning how to be more disciplined.
Right.
But I think you already have all of that, so I think you're gonna do really well.
Took a lot of
Sure.
Belichick moments.
Yeah,
Belichick moments.
it's
No,
still
it's
still
all good. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
great.
if I- I'd
But it's
rather go
good
out-
that you guys can play out like
Oh,
you
yeah.
said, yin and
Different
yang,
roles,
right?
different
He'll,
roles.
sometimes he'll
Yeah.
just look at me about him and he'll go, 10 years. That's
Well,
how long they've been working
Yeah.
together. 10.
Even in the yin and
10
yang, though, you
years.
got to remember, like on the black side, there's a little speck of white,
white, yeah.
and on the white side, there's a little speck of black. So it's
Man,
like,
Jerod
you
is
guys-
deep, man.
The problem is that when I draw back the wisdom, I replay back on him.
Yeah.
I say all the when he's failing, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
this. He's like, oh my god, I can't even get back
I've
to you.
bad news for you, DG. I
What?
think I got a new co-host over here.
That's okay. No, this
No,
is
no,
good. This would be a
we
good
gotta
thing.
hold-
This
we're
would be a
going-
good
we're
thing.
going-
I'm
we're
glad.
going global
I'll
here.
gladly be out. I'm glad to be out. I got work to do, John.
You
Jerod's
got-
got a
gotta
day
take
job. He's got
Essence.
4 kids. He's got 4
John, I
kids.
want you to have this.
nah,
Yeah,
thank you.
you have
Anytime. This has been great.
Yeah,
anytime.
thank you, man.
I
We
love
appreciate
talking
it.
about this.
you have
All
the
right.
essence. How can we help you? Like,
Yeah,
we're
how do we
here.
help Jerod?
For me, when I
We
look at
love
my
expanding our circle.
Yeah. So I just like to get closer, and I would like, I look at my network, right? I know the C-suite in like corporate America.
Corporate,
right?
yeah.
No problem. I know like some of the top investors in the country. I want to get closer to the entrepreneur, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what we talked about. I want to get closer to the people who are really doing the grunt work.
Yeah.
Right? And how can I help those people, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you help those people bring in the future, I mean,
Yeah.
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 We
It
should
always
do a
comes back around.
special contest. Let's think about this. We're going on the fly. I like to go on the fly contest. We're going to do special contest.
Okay.
Only if Jerod agrees.
I'm here.
Yeah.
That we have a private dinner with some top entrepreneurs in the country.
sure.
We'll fly out here. We'll have a dinner here.
Let's do it.
And we'll with Jerod.
Yeah.
Take him to the next level.
Yeah.
I
I
appreciate
love
it.
that idea.
Let's do it.
I love
We're
that
going to
idea.
do that. We're going to organize
Elias
that.
will make
We're going to bring in a
margaritas.
bunch of people from the Bay Area, from New York.
We'll do it at
Perfect.
David's house.
Yeah.
Nice.
There we go. Yeah.
He's got the top shelf.
Chateau Margaux.
Top shelf, man.
All right, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much for
Gerard,
coming out.
coming.
Thanks for having
Do
me.
you have anything you want to plug?
Yeah.
Anywhere you want people to go
Are you
hang
on
out and
Instagram?
see you?
I am on Instagram, but
Are you on
Twitter?
LinkedIn?
Oh,
No,
yeah,
not on
Gerard.
LinkedIn.
You know what?
We gotta help you out, man.
One word of advice: you gotta get on the LinkedIn train.
You know why? For a long time I was trying. No, seriously, I was like a ghost.
I kept looking. I kept looking.
No, because I wanted to be a ghost for a while. I just wanted to disappear and go in my hole and like the phoenix rise from the ashes, right? So I'll get on.
You might not need the net. You might not need the LinkedIn network.
Because that's the thing. Like when I first joined Optum, the first day I joined this company, I was in Minnesota for 2 weeks. That's where we're headquartered. And I had like 2 emails in my inbox, like from guys that wanted to work out, and I'm like, I don't want to work out. Like this is my work. It's like guys who just saw me walking around the office in Minnesota. It's like I don't want to work out. And I don't mind talking about football. And David, I think will be cool because you don't want to talk about football.
No, you'll be fine
at all. Right?
This is the most. This is everything.
Honestly, I don't mind talking about football, but like. Sometimes I want to talk about something else. Let's talk about politics. Let's talk about tech or something. Let's talk about something cool out there.
Your second day at work, somebody, hey, Jerod, let's skip lunch. Let's go work out.
Oh, I know. Like, what do you think about?
I'm okay.
Who cares?
No one ever asked me to go work out.
Yeah, stick with these guys. You'll be okay.
Yeah. I will never ask you about that. So if you love Jerod, right? If you love this interview, if you want to be part of the inner circle with him, leave a 6-star review. So we have a problem because the Apple Podcast only allows 5 stars, but all of our fans leave 6 stars. They leave it in. They leave a 5-star and then they leave a 6-star in the description.
We've been trying to petition Apple. They haven't made an update.
Shout it out to Jerod. Yeah. And if you're lucky, we might do a little video glimpse, a little bit, not the whole dinner, of if we hold this dinner together with the top entrepreneurs and Jerod. We're doing it. Okay. Yeah. I want to make sure he's committed. We'll let you get a sneak peek in of the dinner, but it's a private dinner.
I think we have to, Elias.
Is he going to be there?
You don't come here often. You brought.
Gerard said you can come to the dinner.
Thank you for coming, making me look good.
I appreciate it.
Because
we're out.
No respect around here. Just got to do the work. Thank you.